originally, it's a long story. Okay, so two of my friends in DOZ were like, "Oh, let's live in a house together," but then that kind of backfired. And so I was like, well, I desperately need a house. And so I posted in our DOZ Facebook page. And Josh Byung was like, hey, we have one spot open at our house, which is this house. So I'm like, cool, I'd be totally down. So, I mean, there's not much to it. It's not because of like specifically the people or whatnot, but it was very much like desperation.
I chose to live in an apartment with 6 people because I don't really enjoy living. Well, not that I don't enjoy living alone, but there's something about like the community aspect that I really enjoy. Like I like having my own space, but being able to see people and not have to like always leave the house to have social time.
At first, I was just like, I was worried because I was like, I already know these people so well, and I don't want to ruin my friendship because of like things like who washes the dishes and stuff, you know. But I would say that our house has a pretty good system to like prevent that from happening, and I think I'm like pretty close to everyone to the point where I don't feel awkward telling them things, and like our friendship has only gotten stronger because of it.
You know, it's very relaxing. You always feel safe at home, and there's always someone you can like go to. For example, if you needed company.
I mean, I do like living with friends. I just feel like I didn't know them as much when I first moved in with them, and so being kind of like more of an acquaintance before we moved in, and then kind of learning about them more as we lived with them was probably the biggest kind of struggle, because there were some parts where, like some aspects of people that I didn't realize they would act in this way, and then living with them has kind of opened my eyes to that.
Out of all of 6 of us, or the 2 of us, oh, I'm definitely the better roommate.
Why?
Because I participate in people's lives.
I participate in your lives. From a more removed, I'm like Switzerland.
Yeah, in the neutral party.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of fights between people living here. You know, I feel like that's very common though in any housemate situation. Like no matter who you live with, people always have disagree with things. I know that Ali and I sometimes get into arguments. Nothing too strong, but you know, we have different opinions, and sometimes it just happens to be like we voice it out, and that's just the way it goes.
That reaction.
I have to clean 2 people's worth of shit every single week. It's not fair.
Steve does a sucky job too. Just kidding.
Excuse me. Take that back.
You try not to step any toes, as with every apartment, dramas and conflicts and personal opinions, as well as what they need. Everyone has their own needs in an apartment, and it could conflict with another need, another interest, another value that another person holds, especially with their friends.
Well, there's always the risk of like ruining a friendship over like, you know, living habits that don't mesh very well together. I think people don't feel like they have to be on like their best behavior when they live with their friends.
Yeah, if something like that you don't agree with happens, and like let's say someone doesn't clean the kitchen or something, and like they forget to clean their pots, and it's just like they're your friend, but you also don't want to be like their dad and be like, hey, you gotta clean this, hey, you gotta do this, hey, you gotta do that, yeah, because you don't want to ruin that friendship. But so far it's been pretty good, but there is that worry every single time.
The cleaning schedule is our Bible. We live by it.
It's quite sacred, as
It's
you can
constantly on my mind. I pray to it 5 times a day.
tell.
So we each have to clean once a week. Like a mild clean. What do we call it? It's called a pickup, really. And then once a week, one of us does an intense cleaning.
Mm-hmm. And why did we decide to do that?
Because otherwise it doesn't get clean.
At all.
My views on friendship is that they do come and go, unfortunately, because, you know, it's very much like how you know, when you're surrounded by friends all the time, that's when it's easier to kind of, you know, maintain that relationship and to keep it going. And that's when, you know, you start seeing things that are very relative and things have similar backgrounds and like opportunities to talk about, like common interests to talk about in a social setting.
Someone who's like willing to help you out. Someone who's willing to be there for you when you need them. And someone who like cares. This is my definition of a really good friend. Is someone who cares about you as much as they care about themselves. That's the definition of a really good friend to me.
I've learned that Josh is never home, ever, and that he only knows how to cook pasta. And,
So what are you doing when you're not at home?
Well, I like to pack my schedule. So when I'm not at home, like I'm either in class or at work or off at my dance practice.
I've learned that Allie likes to read a lot. She has all this like books that she likes to read, and I never really I know she likes to read for fun, but I never knew she had like a list and like had all these like different things that she was reading and stuff.
I never realized how she's very, you know, organized with the house and you know, is very on top of getting the checks in on time. And
I've learned that Austin likes to keep to himself a lot when he's home and like doesn't spend any time in like communal space or like wanting to like socialize. He saves that for like the weekend.
I've learned that Austin is super quiet and super to himself. Like he never comes out of his room. Like if he decides to be social, he'll be here, but that'll be like once a week, if at all. Sometimes he won't be social at all for the week. I've learned that Alex, he likes to cook a lot. He's like a huge foodie, I would say, and like he knows how to cook really, really amazing plates, which is so amazing, I think.
I guess Alex and Steve, I think them two, I was like better friends with them rather than as opposed to like the other three. But yeah, I didn't realize how more compatible we were.
I've learned that Steve hates sharing food or any like of his like stuff really.
And for Alexis Miller, I actually got to know her. Do I speak to you in third person or like Alexis Miller? Okay, I got to know her more actually this semester. No, last semester when I moved into this house because, you know, we didn't really talk much and we kind of knew each other in the fraternity, but then not until actually we start hanging out more, we start realizing that she's like cool kid. Yeah. Gonna do it.